A disgraced music star gets a second chance at fame and love. A debutante turned event planner navigates post-divorce reinvention. It's the summer of love at brand new publisher Honey Blossom Press, and we're chatting with their authors whose second chance romances are rooted in identity, connection, and Black joy. Welcome to Reader Seeks Romance Channel's Romance Roundup, the #1 romance book recs talk show. I am Liz Donatelli.
And I'm Libby Kay, author of the new release, When Sparks Fly, available now from Inkspell Publishing.
Watch Romance Roundup on Reader Seeks Romance Channel and subscribe on YouTube. Listen to Romance Roundup on PodBean and all podcast apps. Follow us on Instagram at Libby K Author and at Reader Seeks Romance. Our special guests today are USA Today bestselling author Tiye is known for her emotional and captivating novels. Tiye's This Side of Beautiful published on May 6th and is Honey Blossom Press's debut title. Mia Heintzelman is an Amazon bestselling author of fun, flirty, and fiery romances. She has previously appeared twice on Reader Seeks Romance Channel. Mia's The Divorcee Tante releases on June 24th from Honey Blossom Press. Hello, Tiye and Mia.
Hi.
Hey, Mia. Hi, Tiye. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Hi, Libby.
Let's start with an icebreaker. We've never done an icebreaker, have we?
I love icebreakers. I
Me
think.
too.
Let's do 2 icebreakers.
Icebreakers. Ooh, fancy.
What would readers be surprised to learn about each of you? Tiye, go.
You play certain songs and I will dance out of nowhere. I will dance. Like, I am very introverted, but when certain music comes on, I forget that I'm introverted.
Ooh, can I ask what one of the songs would be?
One is Too Short, Blow the Whistle.
Blow the whistle.
And Back That Thing Up.
Do you hear songs in like the grocery store? Because I find myself starting to dance in grocery stores, and I don't know if
I
that is
will.
like.
It's like also I'm in a video. It's like I'm in this video all of a sudden, and my daughter would be like, "Ma, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm sorry." I really love to dance, and so when certain I was in Jamaica dancing on top of a table in bathing suit. This is something I don't do, but when Back That Thing come, everybody who knows me like, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" But that would be something I think most people would not, expect that of me.
Okay, so spontaneous dancing.
I love it.
Yes.
Good one.
Yes.
I like it. Mia.
Okay, so since we're on a musical little vibe here, I'm going to piggyback off of that and say that I'm a human jukebox. So depending on what you say, I'm always hearing a song of some sort. So we could be talking and my jukebox brain will chime in and hear a song as you're talking.
That is my daughter. No matter what I say, she'll sing right behind me. And I'm like, really?
Yes, like depending on what you say, I'm hearing a song. Yeah.
I'm going to say something people might be surprised to learn about me, and it's musical.
Yes.
Well, actually, no, it's not really a big deal.
You're not dancing on tables?
One is that I have danced atop the bar. Okay, let me tell you. Do you guys know the movie Coyote Ugly?
Yes.
Okay, so that bar is in New York. Okay. And I went there with my coworkers after work because those were the days when coworkers would party together and it was okay.
Yes.
And like HR didn't hear it.
Mhm.
I'm Gen X, and we got away with a lot.
Yep.
And we all would go out and drink it. And I got on the bar with my coworkers and we danced as in Coyote Ugly in that bar. I did that, and the whole time I hated it because I said, "Oh, I'm gonna fall. I'm gonna fall. Oh, this is gonna be so. I'm gonna. It was high." As far as music, Mia, now whenever my husband and I are talking and we say a phrase that is in a song or title, we have to sing it.
You have to.
Yeah.
You can't let it
I'll
pass.
say to him, I said, "Go ahead, sing it. You have to sing it." You said, and then
don't leave me hanging either. Like sing it with me and with some feeling,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Do you have any musical surprises to share, Libby?
No, it is not surprising that I'm not much of a singer and I really can't dance. There are no surprises here today.
But is there anything surprising that our fans have not learned yet about you?
I mean, musical wise, I
Oh,
don't know.
anything.
Anything. I can't ride a bike. My husband is a cyclist and I can't ride a bike. That's probably the
Oh,
more surprising thing for all of the cycling things that I do with him. It's
Yeah.
always from the side of the road. Please, at this point, insert a sad trombone sound for the end of this segment.
So the other icebreaker, although I feel like the ice is broken,
yes.
but I'll break it some more. What are you reading now that you are enjoying? It could be romance. It doesn't have to be romance.
Funny that you say that. This is what I'm reading right now.
Kennedy Ryan.
Can't get enough.
Nice.
I'm having a really good time, and everybody is like all over my timeline. And I feel rushed, but I'm doing my best to take my time. I just really want to savor it, especially since it's the end of the series. Can't get enough, and it's just feeling so good with Hendrix right now. So I'm taking my time and trying not to like notice any spoilers online.
And that can be tricky sometimes.
Yes. Absolutely. It is super tricky because every other post is about this book. And I'm so excited for her. Well deserved, you know. But I also don't want to know any tidbits because people are posting quotes and things like that. And I'm like, please do not read it. Save it for later. I press a little save so I can read it later. But right now, I really don't want to get any hidden spoilers.
You might as well stay off of social media.
I know. Exactly. That's literally how I feel because it is there. But very, very proud of Kennedy Ryan and glad to see her on USA Today, New York Times bestselling list. So,
awesome.
very
I didn't know she made it to the New York Times.
No, she did. I want to say number 2, right? Like really high
yes,
up.
number 2. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she's killing it.
I say give it a week, she's going to be number 1. So
Yeah.
we are very excited for her.
Excellent.
That's awesome.
Ty, what are you reading that you're enjoying?
Okay, that's a good question. When I'm in the midst of writing mode, I don't read a lot in the midst of writing. I'm in the writing mode. I did start the Voici Tante, and I'm enjoying it already. I'm on chapter 3. So what happens is whenever I get a moment or a break, I pick it up. That is my goal for this year is to try. I used to read a book a day before I became a writer.
Yeah.
And now it's like I might read 2 or 3 books a year. So, but I am reading Mia's book and I'm enjoying it. It's already funny. It's already as well written. So I am looking forward to continuing that. I'm hoping to have it finished because I'll be in Atlanta next week. So I'm hoping to finish before I meet you.
Thank you, Ty. That is so nice. I'm so honored. Thank you.
Yeah, and that's not me. This is true. I just wish I could say I finished it so I could talk about it. But I'm like, okay. But I am enjoying it so far. I am.
Nice. And I appreciate that you could have just said you did read it. We wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that you were honest about it.
I can't because you might ask me a question. I'm like,
That's true. That's true. Second chances is a theme in each of your romances. In what way does starting anew pave the way to love for your protagonists? Okay, I like the dramatic pause. Ty and Mia, second chances is a theme in each of your romances. So, Ty, in this side of Beautiful, in what way does starting anew pave the way to love for your protagonists?
And this side of Beautiful, when the story starts, Janae and Landon, they were never a couple. 3 years prior, Janae burned Landon. They both musicians, and she burned him because she was like, like using drugs, just party girl. And he was like in the studio with her, and she dismissed him a lot. And so when they see each other again, she's clean, she's sober, she's trying to get her life together. She's living with bipolar now. And when they meet again, it's just magical sparks between them. And so the whole renewing again makes it special in the sense that she's in a healthier place now than when they first met. And at first he's skeptical, although he's attracted to her and he likes her. He is like, but I know she's a train wreck. And so at first he's being very cautious and he's very careful person. He's very reserved guitarist. He's shy, he's introverted, and she's his extrovert. She's chaos and he is peace. And so just starting anew is exactly what gets them to love. Like they could not have been the way they were 3 years prior.
Yeah. What I find interesting is that your recovery story is based on the female protagonist, which
Yes.
typically I don't know, I think Libby, we've talked about recently
Yeah.
reading romances with recovery storylines where it was the male protagonist.
Yep.
So
Right.
I really, that's special for you to write from a female perspective. What inspired your decision to explore that?
I wanted people to see, when we talk about mental health, I wanted people to be seen, because often people are like, that's them, that's not me, that's not us. And so when I wrote this story, I wanted people, whoever stepped into the story, could see themselves in these characters, because you have Janae, who is, again, just really trying to deal with bipolar and being an entertainer with past trauma. And then you also have Landon, who's more introverted and anxiety ridden, has panic attacks, and his guitar is like his coping mechanism. It's like his blanket, if you will.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to have people, if you read it, you're like, I can see myself in that. I have self-doubt. I have these feelings. I have all of this, because I want mental health not to be that stigma. I want people to really say, this is what I'm living with. And I wanted to tell it through a love story. So when you're reading, you might say, can these two unhealthy people be healthy? Can they find a healthy relationship? And of course, it's ups and downs, and there's a journey there. And I wanted it to be more from her perspective, in terms of, because I think like you said, we're used to men having issues, but there are a lot of women, especially Black women, who do not talk about the things that they're going through. So people assume they're just wild, they don't care. But in her case, she's been traumatized, she's been through some things, and all we see is the outward. So I wanted to do that. And then Landon, he doesn't use drugs at all. He is like completely sober. He doesn't use drugs, doesn't use alcohol. So he's just looking at her like, why do you have to use that? Because I don't.
Right.
And so it is a definitely different take on, how do you balance loving someone, being vulnerable with someone, and hoping that they still love you through all your flaws.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah.
Now, Mia, in The Divorcee Tante, in what way does starting anew pave the way to love for your protagonist?
Okay, so with this book, it starts out with a bang. Let's just say that. Okay, from the prologue, page 1 of the prologue, we start out with a bang, because her marriage is on the rocks, but she doesn't exactly know that just yet. But then she finds out exactly how far on the rocks it is by the end of that prologue. So she's on the verge of divorce. She does not know that. And she really has had her life planned out for her from the time she graduated high school. Her parents very involved. She's really just had everything. Society has told her, her parents have told her, here's what you're going to do. You're going to get married. You're going to be this socialite, debutante, wedding planner, and your life is going to be planned out from that point on. But when it doesn't work out that way, then she's on the cusp, on the verge of something brand new, and it's on her terms. So it's on her terms. However, fate has a little bit of mix, help in this mix here, because Link, who is a preservationist for real estate, he works on Madison Manor, and this building where it's going to be this gorgeous wedding venue, and she's planning a wedding. So now they're just pushed back together. They're just back together on the map again, even though they kind of left on rocky terms as well. Ebony and Link have a lot of history.
Yes.
Okay. And it's fully apparent from the time they see each other. It's palpable in the way they speak to each other and everything they talk about, their exchange. And now they're forced to plan this wedding together. And she's no longer married. She's no longer got a family telling her what she can do. And she's setting it out on her own terms again, as stated. And now it's like, what is in their way? Absolutely nothing. But what's she going to do about it? And why isn't she pursuing him is what he's thinking. So on the verge of something new and on their terms is really the main thing here. So there's this quote in the book, and it says, the best flowers come from the roots you nurture. And she hasn't really nurtured this feeling or these emotions that they've shared, her and Link. But now there's an opportunity to. And of course, they're both reluctant because of the history that they've had. Yeah.
Right, right. So now, specifically making this person a debutante, is that a world that you're familiar with?
I have friends who have been, and I've witnessed the world. I'm not a debutante myself, although this is very important too, because a debutante is considered like they're being introduced to society.
Yes.
Here is who you are. Here's this brand new person. So there's a parallel between the debutante and the divorcee, because now here was this woman who was the arm candy, the ornament wife on the arm of this anchorman who is the town prince, who's so handsome and wealthy and all this stuff. And her life was sculpted and put into place for her. But now none of that applies. So now who are you, and who are you choosing to reintroduce yourself to society as?
Yes.
So there's a parallel between that,
Yeah.
between the divorcee and the debutante. And so she's coming into the world now saying, this is who I'm choosing to be.
Right.
And also remembering who she was and who
Yes.
she wants to remember, what parts of herself that she wants to remember, you know?
Yeah.
And of course, Link remembers all the good stuff. He remembers everything about her.
I bet.
Yes, he does. But he doesn't mind a refresher.
Ooh.
This is romance. So yes,
Yeah.
there's gonna be lots of angst and emotions and everything all on the page, just splattered all on the page with the good steamy stuff.
Nice, nice.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about craft and your writing processes. So could you give us a little bit of a taste of what your writing process is like? Is there anything in particular you need to have on hand? Do you like to listen to music? Is there anything that kind of gets you in that writing headspace? And we'll start with you on this one, Ty.
I have to have music. I always have my headphones or earbuds.
Mhm.
I love coffee shops. And I try different ones just because, the vibe of, I try to find ones that are trendy and, there's vibe. There are people going to sometimes inspire me, other times just being in the presence. Because I can't seem to write at home well. It's like I start thinking about all the things I need to do. I have an office, I have a desk, everything that I probably use once a year because I'm always floating, always floating. It has to be music. And I can drive somewhere and I can hear, like, if a song comes on, I'm like, that would be perfect. It starts to simulate my thought process.
Very
And then
cool.
you put it on my playlist. And that is a big part of when I'm, crafting these stories.
Do you have a drink of choice at these coffee shops?
I do. I typically drink, and this is the thing, I never was a coffee drinker. Now, because I'm at these coffee houses, I can't just sit in there. So now I can't sit there for hours and not buy anything.
Yeah.
So now it's become a caramel frappuccino or a mocha frappuccino. Today I had like a s'mores frappuccino because it's the
Ooh,
summer.
that sounds good.
It's called,
Heck yes,
summer
I love
camp.
those.
Yeah, it was called like summer camp. It was called a summer camp frappuccino. And I was like, this is cool.
That sounds amazing.
So now I'm a coffee drinker. And now when I don't drink, it's like I feel awful. And I never thought I would have a caffeine addiction. But yeah,
Welcome to the club.
Blame on the books. Blame on the books.
Wow. I think it's really interesting that music is your way in
Mhm.
to that creative space, because I myself feel like when I hear a song, it's like it's like a whole story pops up.
Yep.
So I think that's just fascinating though, because a lot of times when when writers have a writer's block, you're told to go out there and just be in the world and just that inspiration, whether it's, art or music or dance. So I just think it's fascinating how the creative brain operates.
Music gets me out of my writer's block for
Yeah.
sure. And I'm excited when a song and I have to write right now.
Right.
Do you ever have like a song that ties in with one of your books? Like if you heard it, you're like, oh
my God, it is. There's several songs I hear it, I just think instant to those characters. It's like the song does not. It's no longer is it standalone. It is related to this book in my head forever now.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
I love that. So Mia, what is a must-have for you when you get into the writing zone?
I'm also a coffee drinker. So I need a cup of coffee with some creamer and probably way too much sugar. Yes. Unfortunately, I cannot write with music unless it's without words. It has to be just like a jazz song or something low key that doesn't interfere with me, because my brain is just chaotic. I have so many ideas. So I also have to have Post-it notes and a pen ready to write down whatever it is that comes to my head. So that, and usually some chocolate. I love chocolate. So give me chocolate with caramel or chocolate with peanut butter. Either one will work, preferably milk chocolate.
Yes. A woman after my own heart.
Sea salt caramel? Sea salt caramel?
Yes, that's one of my favorites.
Yes.
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 Yes. I
Nice.
have the worst sweet tooth, and it is so bad. My dentist knows me well.
So both of you have written obviously a lot of books, and I'm curious, has your writing process changed at all the longer you or the more you write? Is there something where maybe you don't have to outline as much, or maybe you've discovered that you can listen to music or something? Is there something that you're like, wow, over the years I have really shifted with my writing?
For me, I just feel like no book is the same. For
Mhm.
me, at least, I never know what it's going to be like. I
Mhm.
just provide all the resources on my desk and try to like set the scene for myself. Like we're getting sexy for this writing to happen, but I never know whether it's going to be like pulling teeth or if it's just going to pour out on the page. And some books do, they just pour out,
Mhm.
and others I have to force myself or write more notes or outline a little more or just get a deeper feel, like create a Pinterest board for a character or something to really know them. So yeah.
That's
That's
cool. I
good.
never thought of doing a Pinterest board for a character
Oh
before.
yeah, Pinterest board for characters. Oh, and the other thing that helps me, tarot cards. I will
Tarot
pull a
card.
past, present, future on a character if I'm like lost on them
Wow.
or what do they need to happen, and my tarot card will help.
That is
I
so
like
cool. I wouldn't
that.
have.
I like
I got
that.
all kinds of
Okay.
little hacks and ways.
I like that. I do. I like
Look,
that.
when the
Okay.
book needs to get done, the book needs to get done. You
Yeah.
find ways. And also, an author community is great.
Yes.
Having
Oh,
other
Yep.
authors who you can run that idea by is
Yep.
priceless.
hmm
I would never
Agreed.
do it without having my other author friends.
Wow. Now, did
Yes.
you learn the tarot specifically for creative purposes like that when you need to know what direction a
I
character?
took a class. I was part of a group called, or I'm still part of it, Word Makers, and it's an author writer group. And this author, Lisa, she is the best. She gave a class called Tarot for Writers. And I took so
That's
many
so
notes. I
nice.
still use it. The pages are all tattered and they've got little tabs, but I will pull a card and tell you everything you need to know about these characters. It's awesome.
that's so
I
cool.
like that. And I'm like, okay, I'm
Yeah.
like taking notes. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Yes,
I'm glad we're recording this.
yes.
That's
It's awesome.
fascinating.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, for me, I don't think my writing, it's kind of like what Mia said. It depends on the book. Some books just pour out of me so easy. And I'm just like, why did this pour out so easy? And
Right.
and then another one is like she said, I have to, change the song or I have to keep moving to a new location until something just pops or triggers. And
Hmm.
no, I can't say, and I never do outlines. I write out of order. It's like, especially because
Mm.
I do write, it's how I cope. So if I'm going through something, then I use
hmm
my writing to kind of, you know, expel, if
Yeah.
you will. And
Mhm.
so if I'm, very emotional day, then I said, okay, I'm just going to write this scene because I know this scene is going to be emotional, and I'll write it.
Mhm.
And then it might be, the end of the book. I've written it in the book, but not the beginning. Uh, and then I'm like, I know I was gonna end. Now I gotta figure out how I was gonna start.
Yeah.
And and so I'm writing out of order. And of course I gotta go back through and just make sure it flows because some thought processes might change along the way that doesn't necessarily fit the last part.
hmm
And that, yeah, so I know my style can probably, because I'm definitely a pantser, not a plotter.
Oh,
So I
me
know that
too.
could possibly, and I've written other people and they're like, really? Like, can you tell
Yeah.
me what this is? I'm like, I'm sorry. I write by my mood. I write by my emotion.
hmm
So, yes.
And that's probably why you're popular with readers because they can feel it on the page.
That's my
Yeah.
hope. That's my hope.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That is my hope. Yes. You feel just as angry and as upset as I was feeling as I was writing,
Right.
or happy, or just as happy.
Yeah. No, I love it. In case we have any aspiring writers out there, do you have any parting words of writing wisdom that you would like to share?
I just think that if you have a story to tell, then tell it. I think sometimes we get caught up in wondering, like I wrote for what, 4 or 5 years for free. I got started on Wattpad. I would just write just for the fun of it and would spend hours just writing for free.
hmm
And with that mindset, this is how I write now. It's like, it doesn't matter if you get all these reviews or all the money from it. Do you really still love it? Is it your passion? Is it your peace? And so for those who are thinking about it and it's just in them, I just say, go for it.
Nice. Mia?
I have two pieces of advice, and they're not really advice. They're kind of guidance statements. Okay, the first one is everybody's going to have some advice for you. Take what works and throw the rest back. That's really, really crucial, I think, and necessary for all authors, because everybody's got advice and it may work for you, but it may not. And it might have worked for someone else, but that doesn't also mean it will work for you. So that's a crucial piece of advice I have. And the other one is to write your own way. So that's why I say they're kind of like statements. Write your own way. Some people outline, some people pants, some people plot, some people need a Scrivener or a Dabble writer or whatever the heck software there is. But if you write best in the notes app of your phone, or if you write best on Word or on a piece of paper in the sunshine, whatever gets the words on the paper is the best way to go about it, is the way I view it. Because again, what works for you to get this story out, to feel these characters forming and becoming three-dimensional, what is your process? And you figure it out along the way. I'm 20 something books in, and I still don't have a solid process. My process is the one that gets the words on the page and that I feel good about the story. So I read it back, and if I don't feel in love with it or feel some type of emotive response, that it's evocative in any kind of way, then I don't love it and I don't want to turn it in. So hopefully you feel good about the book that you've written, and then other people, or the readers at least, will feel that emotion when they're reading. They'll be like, God, this is really, the author must have felt something. And that's what I always hope. So that's my little bit of advice. Write your own way and take the advice that works for you and throw the rest back.
I love it. Thank you.
That's solid. And I am curious. So Honey Blossom Press recently launched with Tiye's This Side of Beautiful earlier in May. And I was wondering how each of you came to be published by Honey Blossom. Did you answer a call for author submissions? Did Honey Blossom come to you because each of your popularity? Like how did that happen, Tiye?
I've been knowing Keisha Menifee, who is the CEO, I don't know what she wants to title herself. So she definitely had the vision for, Honey Blossoms. And, we have been in, communication and talking for about 3 years now. And we published together, not under Honey Blossoms, but just a project, Riff and Refrains. And we had such a fun time. We're both from Houston. And let me rephrase. I'm actually from New Orleans, but I live in Houston. And this is where she had spent some time. So we got to bond like that. And so when we started talking about, doing another book, because mental health is my passion. I'm a psychologist outside of this. And so I really wanted to, use romance to help people in terms of their mental health. And so we started talking about this, and she was like, hey, just write and just let me know. Let's talk about it. Let's see how, it all shakes out. And it was a good time. It was a good time discussing, going over ideas and things like that. And we ended up with This Side of Beautiful. It ended up being a debut for Honey Blossoms Press. And I am, glad to be a part of it. I'm looking forward to see what the future holds. Excited that this is, a Black woman owned and run, and it's all about amplifying, underrepresented voices. And so for me, I am proud to be a part of the inaugural run. I would say this summer will be a fun summer.
I felt emotional. I was like, yes, girl, yes. Okay. Well, because you said a lot of the things that I would want to say. Keisha reached out to me. I haven't known her as long, but she reached out and said, I've got an idea for this project. Would you want to work together? And I was honored and shocked, like, me? Little old me, you got the right person. And she was like, yeah, I would love to. And I was very grateful and honored to be able to take part in this and to help launch Honey Blossom Press. And, I write fun, flirty, fiery romance, as my slogan says, but really underneath it, it's hard themes with a soft hand is what I like to say about it. Yes. I touch upon a lot of things, but it's important to also give some three-dimensional help to a lot of topics. Yes. So I address a lot of different things while we're laughing, while we're rom-comming it up, drom-comming it up, and that kind of thing. But it's very important. And I'm so glad that Keisha is is launching Honey Blossom Press and giving a microphone and a spotlight to underrepresented voices. And as she says, disrupting the community. So here publishing, here we are disrupting the space. And I love that. So I'm happy to be part of the disruption.
Congratulations to you both.
Yes.
Thank you.
And it's been a real pleasure getting to know you, Tiye, and catching up with you, Mia.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us.
This is a very fun interview. Thank you.
Watch Romance Roundup on Reader Seeks Romance channel and subscribe on YouTube. Listen to Romance Roundup on PodBean and all podcast apps. Thanks for joining us, romance readers.
Happy reading, everyone.